little bit of mixed spice and a couple of teaspoons of sugar. Just give that a really good mix there. Mix that in. That's it. Det var sån här byggen. That's it. Me a good old rub. That's it. Here wide. Scovade.
Hello! Bit of unexpected Ainsley Harriet there. How are we all doing? Happy, what even day is it? Happy Tuesday. Let me shut that door. Hello Bitter Blitter, hello Castado, hello Retro Box Room, hello Pillock, hello Pints, hello Dana, got it right today. Hello Mark Central, Nulani, Grant. The whole crew's here. Mark Fixes Stuff is here, hello sir. Garen Ninja, awesome.
Sugary.
Oh, that was the wrong one.
Hadouken.
I wanted a Hadouken for this music. I hope you're all well. We've got lots of J games today. We've got tours, we've got show and tells. Got it all going on as usual. You guys make this easy for me. I go to my inbox and it is bulging. My inbox overfloweth with your submissions, so thank you. It was a sugary Hadouken. I've been back in the cave this week and I've been making one of those videos that I thought, I say this every damn time, one of those videos that I thought would be a quick win, and I've just gone totally down the rabbit hole. It's all about early CD games, some of the first CD games, and I thought I'll just do a quick primer on how could this ever be quick? A quick primer on how the CD format was developed. So of course all of a sudden I'm going back to the 1950s, the 60s, the 70s, the American scientists and developers, designers, Philips, Sony. There's no quick way of explaining all of that. So all of a sudden I've got a 10-minute green screen history lesson that I'm trying to get all the imagery for. And then we're going on to... yeah, exactly, that's a rabbit hole. And then we're getting on to the games. But it's all been worth it because I've been talking to Philip Oliver of the Oliver Twins fame to try and get some information on a particular CD, and I think we've uncovered something that could rewrite history a little bit. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you. Technology Connections is a great channel for that kind of stuff. Awesome. Good. So what we've got on the screen here was a submission, which was an email that came in. The easiest way that I could show it to you was to print or save to PDF. You know how you print and choose PDF. So we're looking at a PDF of a load of images that are coming of a J game from Chris. So we're just going to smash through them quickly and then we'll get onto the videos. So J, clap clap, clap with me. Clap clap is the letter of the day is J. He's gone for Just Cause on the 360. Conversation topic, is the Xbox 360 retro yet? Yeah, it was. There's also another CD similar to the Codemasters CD, which is only on the C64 and was only released in Germany, so I'm looking into that as well to try and figure out which one came out first. Just Cause is 14 years old, is it? Oof. The 360 is not retro. I had a 360. I loved it. And the drink of the day is... I never have my first drink until I start streaming with you. And today I went for a lovely sunny walk out in the countryside. That's why we're a little bit late. And I've got some Thatcher's Rose, or Rosé, sweet sparkling Somerset cider. Got to have cider on a sunny day, haven't you? Just Cause, released in 2006 and was a lot of fun as an initial open world fun simulator. Thank you. Next one is, oh yes, Jet Set Radio Future. Back in the day I bought this disc just for Sega GT 2002. Oh, it's a dual thing, not for resale. Played it for 5 minutes, thought it was utter tosh. I then tried the other game on the disc, Jet Set Radio Future, mind blown. Awesome soundtrack that I still listen to today, graphics are timeless. I don't understand the difference between this and the Dreamcast Jet Set Radio, but I don't really care, because it's still one of my favourite games. It is timeless. The cel-shaded graphics on those games, they just don't age. They look brilliant. 2006, you wouldn't call that retro? 14 years old again, yeah. Mass Effect. Hang on, this isn't a J. How are we on J for Mass Effect? M, N. I think we've just got a ton of games. Okay, so we'll just fly through Chris's other ones. He's gone for Mass Effect, Need for Speed Underground 2. I was a fan of the Need for Speed series, and then it turned all a bit Fast and Furious, didn't it? I loved Need for Speed Porsche Challenge. That was a great one. And I loved the earlier ones. Shadow of Colossus and is it ISO or Eco? I know this is a real sort of art house game that people rave about, and I've not got around to trying. I really need to try this one. Ace Combat 6. I like my flight sims, but the Ace Combat series is, to me, it's Call of Duty in planes. It's not flight sim. It's not that it's not enjoyable. It's just, when I tried the latest one on the PS4 with the VR at an expo that I went to, yes, there are all these set pieces. You take off, the runway's being bombed, everywhere you look, stuff's going on. Just like a set piece in Call of Duty. And then you go and you fly your mission, and I thought I'll go and have an explore, I'll fly around, and it's like it's got invisible walls. If you go too far off the path it wants you to go down, it starts shouting at you, and then it just blows you up, or it just ends the game. That's not how flight sims work. Burnout 2. Do you like the Burnout games? Burnout 2 Takedown. Earth Defense Force 2017. A lot of all Xbox 360 games there. I'm going too far forward. Am I? What am I doing? Dude? What have I done? What have I done wrong? Yeah, Ace Combat is an arcade game. Do you know what, I think what it is Chris has forgotten. Well, he didn't get round to sending, so we've gone back to some of the older games. We've gone to the letter E here. Clap clap. It's his own alphabet. Like, Chris contributes to this stream. He can write the rules. He can do what he wants. So the letter J. We've got your letter J games. We've got a room tour from Alan. We've got Dave's Man Cave. We've got Fair Fights Tour. I need to say sorry as well to somebody yesterday. I said, have you spelled your name wrong? Is that a mistake? Agima? Is that supposed to be Amiga? Well, the name is 005 Agima, and they've corrected me. If you read it backwards, it's Amiga 500. So by way of an apology, this is that person's channel. Link in the chat. If you like your Amiga stuff, roll up, there's your Amiga stuff. So let's do a tour, because this seems to be how the format's evolving. A tour, the games, and then we'll come back for final tours. So let's start. I'm really looking forward to seeing this one, because I know Alan has an interest in a particular subgenre of games, and I want to see if he's going to share that with us today. Is Alan going to come out to the world and share his dirty secret with us? There he is in the chat. Let's knock the music down so we can hear Alan.
Hello, Cave Dwellers.
Hello,
this is a
Alan.
quick tour of my games room. Apologies for any dodgy camera work. I'm doing this with a hands-free unit. I keep getting my left and right confused, so apologies if I go the wrong way.
Hands-free unit.
So let's start by the door. Here
That's
we
got
have
quite
a
a
little
wide
cabinet that's
lens
got
on
a
it.
lot of my Japanese collection in it. So on the top there we have some Gunpla train transformers. Those two, so these two, they actually join together into like a bigger robot. I haven't quite figured out the instructions how to do that yet. Then we have my collection of Japanese PS2 games. Lots of train games in here. You'll probably notice if you read in Japanese. And we have some Famicom Disk System games, PS1, Dreamcast, Saturn, kind of various bits and pieces in here. And then down here we have some PS1 stuff, some GameCube stuff, which is way cheaper in Japan than it is anywhere else, especially for games like Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, this is right up your street, isn't it, Dana? I just want to go back. I just want to see the train games, okay? I only recently discovered train games, and I'm slightly obsessed with them now. Not that I can read what any of these are. Obviously, Densha to Go is the one that I've been playing. No, not a clue what most of those say. Let's carry on.
Expensive normally. Then we have my GameCube collection, which is reasonable, not too bad.
Nice.
And then moving this way, we have first of my cabinets. I'll open the door so you can see what's inside. And from the top, we have a few interesting bits and pieces. So my C64.
Never mind the computers. Who had a big track? Who in the chat had a big track? And who had the trailer with it? I had the big track, but I never had the trailer. Always wanted the trailer.
64 GS, Bandai Palladium, which is a very interesting little system, especially with the funny little controller, infrared controller. Moving down, we have a couple of PlayStation dev systems, so PlayStation reference system or test system, and a Net Eurose. We also have some various little mini consoles here at the back, and my little BB-8 remote controlled robots.
That's nice, the Eurose. That was the consumer development system, which Alan kindly bought and showed on a show and tell on the channel.
And then moving down again, we've got some few more interesting systems. So we've got a PC Engine Duo here, and we have a Super Graphics there, and a few other odds and sods there. A Bandai Macross figure. If you know Jetfire, the Jetfire G1 figure, same figure, although this one seems to have two left arms. That's because I'm trying to repair it. Down a bit further again, we've got my PCFX JAG CD system.
Who was talking about this the other day? Mike Daly of DMA Design was talking about this on Twitter the other day. He said he's got a broken one in his loft that he's willing to let me have. But he said he's willing to give it away because there are no decent games for it anyway, in his words, or words to that effect. So if you know of any decent games for it, Alan, let me know. But he was of the opinion that there's really sod all for it.
This is actually a development CD system. It's a very, very low serial number. I think it's serial number 20. That was used from a developer, which I picked up a couple of years ago. Atari 2800, which is a Japanese-only version of the 2600 in the 7800 case.
Sorry, I'm on mute. That is cool. A development Jaguar CD. Are there any physical differences to it, or any extra ports or anything on it?
Very confusing. And the back there is Sega Mark III. Then on here we've got a few at the back. There's a couple of the limited edition Dizzy games. Atari 1200 XL, Atari 7800. That's a Sega Sports Pad trackball, which I think was only released in America. Oral Atmos at the back. A bit further down, we've got a few other bits and pieces. So we've got a BBC Micro with a data center built into it. So it's got the SD card on the back. Jupiter Ace, Amiga, Famicom, ST, and an Amiga A500 that's in the process of being fixed. And a Panasonic Q, I've forgotten what it's called then for a minute. Panasonic Q that's in the process of being repaired. That one was absolutely smashed to bits a couple of years ago when I came across from America, and I bought it literally in pieces, and it's been slowly been put to get back together. And then next cabinet,
another cabinet.
My Pokemon luggage tag, as you do. So from the top we have a very
Alan is the reason that I need to go to Japan.
Very battered and broken TRS Coco computer. That's due for a refurb soon. Computers Links, again, that's due for a refurb. That's very dirty and very filthy. QL at the back there. White Sega Saturn. That I bought with a blown up power supply. Cost me £3 or £4. Someone had put 240 volts through that and he didn't like it very much, but got that fixed. Then we have a Sears Videocade, which is the Sears version of the 2600. Very rare in this country. Cool. Specky Plus at the back and a Epoch Cassette Vision. Another unit I'm in the process of fixing because this has got some broken buttons on it.
Cassette Vision. 2 words I probably wouldn't put together.
Tower of Power. Everyone needs a Tower of Power. Nintendo Breakout Game. Again, that's in the process of being fixed. My 3D printed Phoenix from Gatchaman. My Odyssey. This is a Run 1 Odyssey from 1972. I believe May 72. Pretty unusual because that's a UK version. Pretty rare.
Philips bought them out not long after, didn't they? I think the later Odysseys were Philips branded, something like that. I'm probably talking utter nonsense.
My Dev Systems. If you've seen the video with Neil where I sat down and talked about these, you've seen all of these before.
Congratulations.
Further down, we've got a few more bits and pieces here. So we've got the Neo Geo AES, and we have a Neo Geo CD here. That's the only game I've got.
I have just seen, actually. So I didn't realise this was 18 minutes long. So we might split this in 2.
It's the only one I can afford because they are
just let me know what you think.
A couple of little systems at the back. Choplifter, one of my all-time favourite games. That's the NES version, but I think actually personally the VIC-20 version is my favourite. Bit further down, Canon MSX V20, Sword M5, Panasonic FZ10, 3DO, Casio Loopy, weird system, prints little stickers out. Apparently a girls only console, not being sexist.
Can you still get stickers for it? Or can you use some generic stickers for it?
That's how it was marketed as a girls console in Japan. Then we've got a Fairchild or an Abman Grandstand. Nice. This is the second version. There's a slightly different version you can find in America, which is, I think it's got a Perspex cover on top. CD32, Atari 5200, Famicom Disk Systems, and a couple of Intellivisions, a Television 1, and that's an Intellivision 2, American only. And then if I move around here, we have a whole load of games and other bits and pieces. A few things on top there, kind of Resident Evil controller. Oh, Sega Genesis 3 up there at the back. Last of Us. Yep. So this is all kind of games. These are all double stacked. A few books there. Input, home computer course, advanced course. Absolutely fantastic little resources. Crash and Zap had to be done. Brilliant magazines and annuals. And then just more PS2, PS1, PS3, N64, all that kind of stuff. Cat toys on the sofa because the cat seems to think this is their room, not mine. And then, if I could go the right way, again, more games. Oh god, I got the wrong way. More games, more bits and pieces. At the very top there, you can see there's a boxed Odyssey shooting kit that goes with the Odyssey behind me. Again, that's very unusual over here, especially see them boxed. We've got a few amiibos and a few other bits and pieces up there. And again, more games.
So much good stuff.
Something I've never heard of before.
Fusion Magazine, yes. If you haven't heard of Fusion Magazine, Alan, maybe you can give us a link, or tactically give us a link so that the auto mod doesn't blank it out.
Something interesting. One of my train controllers sitting there because I've got nowhere else to put it because I've literally run out of space. A bit more of my library of books. Some interesting little books in there. And then moving around, we have my PS3 reference system, which again you've seen if you've seen the video that I did with Neil. I've seen that thing running up. It sounds like an air conditioner. And a Coleco Combat, which is a pretty unusual machine. I don't think I've seen that many of them anywhere else. And then moving down here, Coleco Adam, US version. I don't think there was a British version. And my Amiga 4000, which has taken me about 4 or 5 years to get this thing up in a working edition, and it's now absolutely fantastic. PS1, Dreamcast, Xbox. That's my Mamod Steam engine, which is going to be coming up in a video on my channel, trying to get this thing up and running. This is my original one that my parents gave me when I was 5 years old, so what, 77 I think it was. So that's going to be an interesting one to restore. My huge, massive MX 4000.
There we go, fusiongamingmag.com. It's a cool little magazine that you can subscribe to, a physical magazine that you can have sent to you monthly. I write an article in it every month. I know Mark fixes stuff, contributes sometimes. Lots of people write lots of cool articles, and it's as it suggests, a fusion of modern and old gaming, so you can keep up to date and then enjoy the good stuff.
Oh, 7,000. Zoid, I think it's Red Horn, which I picked up as a bag of bits. I managed to get that mostly complete now, apart from missing one gun on the front here. Then moving up... Ooh,
more cabinets.
Wobbles. Hang on. My mount's drunk. So moving over here...
My mount is drunk. It's like you're riding around your room on a horse.
Won that in a competition. Really, really pleased with that. Top on this cabinet here, my talking Dalek, which does answer back a bit too often for my liking. 3 Vectrexes, don't judge me. Actually, the reason that's my original one that I bought, or my parents bought, in Woolworths, I think for £40 in '84. But I lost the controller, so I was trying to find a few more controllers, and I ended up buying another 2, as you do. Few more interesting games. Another train controller. Up there. Don't ask.
Multi-train controller.
A couple of Gundam models up there that are going to be built. Sega Saturn. A few other bits and pieces. My big case of CDs. A lot of bits and pieces in there.
Not your scuba diving kit then.
So moving down, let me move my guitar out of the way.
Right. What we're going to do is, because you've got so much good stuff, and we are just more than halfway through, I'm going to tease you, because I know you want to see the rest of Alan's collection. We're going to come back to that. We're going to go and look at some other things, and then we're going to come back to Alan. And do make sure I do come back to that. Remind me. Thank you, Alan. Awesome collection so far. You've got a really nice mix of rare Japanese stuff and rare American stuff, with a bit, obviously, a sprinkling of British stuff in there. But you obviously like to go to the extremes. So let's look at some J games. Let's see what we've got. So we're starting with Carl, who has sent in a capture of a game. You can guess what it is already. See if there's any noise music. Yes, there is. We're going to get that awesome soundtrack. Listen to the power. So he says, my entry for J would have to be Jaguar XJ220. Oh, that music. For the Amiga, great intro sequence and music, one of my favourites alongside Gunship 2000 and Pirellion The Prophecy. Whilst admittedly it didn't have the graphical finesse of its contemporaries such as Lotus Turbo Challenge 2, it made up for it in gameplay depth with refueling, damage, repair / mechanic, track event selection and built-in track editor. I think it also saw a later release on the CD32 and Mega CD. Yeah, I think you're right. But I've never played those versions. Tina just yelled out Joust. Maybe we'll get a Joust. XJ220, just in case you weren't sure, the game.
Hello, Cave Dwellers.
Oh,
Just a quick...
settle down, Alan. Alan's desperate to show us his room. Yeah, it was a great game. Great music. Yeah, I agree with you. Lotus had better graphics, but Jaguar, there was something that kept you playing it. Lotus kept you playing as well, but Jaguar felt a bit more like, I don't know, more of a long haul kind of game, more of a Gran Turismo style game than an arcade game. Get back in your box, Alan. David. So this one really spooked me out because David sent this in. David's surname, same as my family name. So it looked like all of a sudden my dad had just emailed me with a J game suggestion. What are you doing, Dad? You don't watch me. Why are you suddenly sending me this? I think you can guess the game. He says, this is a quick last-minute submission for the letter J. I hope I'm not too late. I created this pixel-accurate 3D interpretation of a flying pig from Set Willy a few years ago. It was printed for me on a selective laser sintering SLS printer by a company just down the road in Eindhoven. I thought it might be fun to see if the other cave dwellers can guess what game it is. Oh, sorry, I've said the name of the game. It's probably not too difficult, given how iconic Matthew Smith's sprites are. Thank you, David. Yes, Alistair, the channel is now monetized, although I don't know if there's any point in me having that turned on. I thought what I'd do is just apply for the monetization, because sometimes it takes months for it to be reviewed and come through, and then if I ever decide to use it, I'll use it, but I guess it's turned itself on. Anyway, I think that's our first animated GIF. GIF. What have we got next? We've got Dana. Dana, ever the reliable Dana, sending us in her wonderful rare submissions. And this one looks no different. I'll let you tell me what that's called. I have got some text. This is a Japan-only Inex strategy RPG. Yutei Senki. Oh, I've got phonetic spelling. And I'm struggling with that as well. Is it Jutei Senki? Jutei Senki. Jutei Senki? I think the only way I can describe it is that you control an army of tree knights to fight a legion of evil robots. Mark Fixie Stuff, why are you atting me? And I hope the environmentalist subtext isn't escaping you there with its sheer subtlety. I only have the loose cart on hand, but the box art is really nice, so I tracked down a scan. Jiffy's floor cleaner. There you go. Jutei Senki. Alan Hamilton has a new channel. Remind me when we go back to his video. He has actually, hasn't he? Because I watched his first video, and it was, for a first video, it was mighty impressive. A restoration, wasn't it? What have we got here then? So Dave featuring Johnny. We're going to need audio for this, I think. This is Velociraptor Dave. £10 points for the mug. Oh, look, he's got the Retro Dave Cave mug. I'm looking for measuring devices.
Thanks, DJ Mashup Neil. Hello, Cave Dwellers. Today, for my J game, I've picked a game that actually does start with the letter J, just for a change, because I know you're all angry people. It's a really famous game, and loads of you will have played it, and loads more will at least have heard of it. But since I've no idea about anything Nintendo, and I often find there's a great deal of background knowledge that's taken for granted, I thought I'd talk about Jet Set Willy for the benefit of the people who know little or nothing about it.
Here you go, Dana. You can learn all about it.
Jet Set Willy is an early platformer.
I think it was Dana who said they'd
on
not heard
all
of
British 8-bit microcomputer systems and lots more systems beside that. It's a direct sequel to Manic Miner and came out straight afterwards by a guy, Matthew Smith, who had a coloured history. He was very young when he did it, and it kind of sent him off the rails a bit. There's loads of documentaries on that you could see if you wanted to. Manic Miner had 20 screens you progressed through sequentially by collecting all the items and then leaving the screen before the time ran out. Jet Set Willy had more screens, and you could explore in any order that you liked. You could leave screens, come back to them, collect the items, although each screen had its own puzzles. Loads and loads of games came out after Jet Set Willy that were copies of Jet Set Willy. And that's my cat Johnny. So obviously he starts with a J, so he qualifies to be featured today. It's a fixed jump platformer. So that means that your jumps are always the same length, and once you start a jump, you can't stop it. So that means that they can put in pixel perfect jumps that you're required to do. Now you might notice that my copy seems a little bit wrinkly, and that's because it's still sealed. And because it does need to go opened, I thought I may as well do it on video. Now, about the game, for me, exploration in this game was the magical thing. I wasn't particularly concerned that I wasn't particularly concerned about collecting all the items. It was, you collected items as you went. It was kind of a score, but I wasn't concerned about getting them all. And there was some...
Dana. Jet Set Willy was great, but I don't understand how we got from that to Jet Set Radio.
Really imaginative names, things like Now We Must Perform a Quirker or a Chapel, etc. Now, I grew up with the Amstrad CPC, and our version of Jet Set Willy was a little bit special. Ours was called Jet Set Willy 2: The Final Frontier. It wasn't a sequel at all. It was more like even just a little bit of DLC. It was the original game with quite a few extra rooms added. Our version had Willy in space, so I've recorded a little bit of how you get into space, and that was definitely my favourite area of the game. It's not simple getting there, but once you're in there, there's even more rooms to explore. I didn't get even close to finishing it, and I understand there's bugs that stop you doing that anyway, although you can, I think you can fix them, but it didn't stop it being a fun game to play. So I now have my own copy of it here, which you can see, but you'll notice it's still wrapped, so I thought I'd unwrap it on stream for you.
Also available on the RMC shop.
Oh, and I'm sorry, folks, I forgot to do something. I'll just be a minute here. Hi. Yeah, look, sorry to bother you, but could you check the dimensions on that for me again? Yeah, thanks. Perfect, mate. Well, I can have a few I can send you. Okay, I'll bring them round just now.
Dave's recently discovered Adobe Premiere, by the way. Oh, 10 points, monster joystick. I feel like Dave could be the next Derek Findas.
Sorry folks, I'll just be a wee second. Sorry.
Where are we going, Dave? Don't mind us. Oh, that's a good mug. That's a strong mug. Have you bought every mug in the shop? Oh, what?
Right, so let's get this opened up then. As you can see, sealed.
I have no idea what's going on. But this is impressive. Is he actually going to open it for us? Oh, Dave, what a treat. Breaking the seal.
Get ready. Checkpoint. Congratulations.
Finally, it's out in the wild. Well done, Dave. Game should be opened. Remember when your eyes... No, nobody's eyes could ever read that copy protection. Jet Set Willy's was the worst. What am I saying? 10 pages. Dave's lost the ability to speak.
That's all, folks.
Oh,
Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Now back to Neil in the studio.
Thank you. Yes, here I am in the studio. So that was Dave's. Well, what a treat. Live unboxing, unwrapping. Thank you, Dave. Let's go over now to Pillock. With his new t-shirt on.
Hi, Chrissy here. Hi, Pillock here. Welcome to the letter J. Today, I'm going to show you a game that I absolutely adore, but you may never have heard of. Let's see what it is. So the game I'm going to talk to you about today,
So we've got RMC keyring, 10 points. Scotch egg, 10 points. Mug, 10 points. Can't see any tape measures. No, okay, we'll continue.
my favourites. Maybe some of you may not have heard of this, but Neil, I think you're going to absolutely love this because it is a flight simulator.
Yes.
And I was first introduced to this through the Bible that is Amiga Power, and the game is called Jet Strike. I was going to show you the game in action. Unfortunately, I appear to have misplaced my joystick. As you can imagine, it's quite hard to play a game like that without a joystick, so I'll talk about it. I'll see how far we get. Just kind of telling you a little bit about it. And, oh. Hang on a sec.
He's actually got the Bonnie Tyler on there.
Oh, it's Velociraptor. Wonder what he wants. Hello, mate. Yeah, how's it going?
Oh, God.
You want me to measure it now? I'm doing a video. Okay, okay. Yeah, one sec.
The Scotch eggs and tape measure. Oh, I'm so easily pleased.
Yes, mate, it's just under 14 inches, that monitor. Yeah, is that right? Oh, actually, while you're on the phone, I wonder if you could do me a favour. I'm just about to talk about a game. Can't find my joystick anywhere. Have you got any you could let... Oh, brilliant, yeah, that'd be amazing. Real lifesaver. Now, okay, brilliant, yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks, bye. Oh, that was quick. Hello, mate. Cool, yeah, thanks for that. Cheers, nice one, bye. Oh, let's see what he's bought me. Cheetah bug. It's a zip stick.
How is it?
The zip stick.
Do you guys live that close to each other?
Monster joystick. Nice. Let's do this.
Another 10 points. And he's on the cider as well.
So guys, one of the reasons I think this game's really cool, yes, it's a flight sim, but it's not a semi-flight sim. And by that what I mean is you've got very, very simple controls. If you've gone to one of the practice missions, what that looks like is essentially it's arcade controls. So you've got rotation to fly the planes. You do get to choose from, on the main missions, dozens of planes here. You've only got a few just because it's practice, but there are pages and pages full of planes to choose from, each with their own characteristics. So it's a bit sim-like in that fashion. But essentially you've got throttle. So we're going to throttle up.
Yeah, see, I thought it was a
side-scrolling
one. Yeah. That's why I didn't have it down as a flight sim.
To retract the undercarriage. And then after that, whoa. Very nice,
like
responsive controls.
Harrier attack.
A couple of buttons on the keyboard to fire whatever missiles you've equipped yourself with. little radar down at the bottom just to show you where your target is.
It's a sim.
So on here you've got bombing, you've got air-to-air combat, you've got recon, there's night, there's fog, and like I say, all those different planes as well. So it is simulator in the fact that you can do loads, you can customise things, but it's not too hard to pick up and play. Unfortunately, I don't own the original game anymore, so Dave, you're just going to have to guess.
Well, you can post it
how
to
many
him.
pages of the manual.
Maybe you'll have it in
However,
the next video.
I do remember just spending hours and hours playing this game, just because it's so easy to pick up and play. And yeah, if you get things wrong, if you lose all your airspeed, you do tend to crash and die a little bit. So absolutely fantastic game in terms of playability, in terms of longevity, and really suits simple people like me.
Was that Dave?
In terms of not having to remember loads and loads of controls. So that is why I absolutely love Jet Strike. Well, that's that. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and I'll see you next time on a subsequent letter of the alphabet.
Ah, well, thank you for your TED Talk. My curry's just arrived. Sorry to eat while we're doing the stream. It's just if I don't, when will I eat? Thank you, Pillock. I really appreciate the effort that's gone into Dave and Pillock's videos there. What can you say? The thought that's gone into that. Love it. Where are we going next? I've got one here that's just called Game for the Letter J. I've failed to put whose name it is on there. So, what have I got? It is a vegetarian curry. Trying to remember what's in it. It's a vegetarian paneer. Sag paneer. I think that's what I want to call it. It's got spinach and cheese in it. Okay. Game with the letter J. Don't know who this belongs to. Sorry, I've forgotten to name it, but hopefully it will become evident as we watch it. Here we go.
Well, hello there. Before I get onto my game for the letter J, I just wanted to say thank you, Neil, for all the videos you've made repairing old systems. That's partly what's got me back into old computers. I used to have a Spectrum
Thank you
back
for
in the
watching.
day, but sadly I got rid of that and almost all the equipment I had with it. So this is the start of my new collection. I've got myself a Harlequin board, and I'm slowly collecting all the pieces to build that up with.
That's the Spectrum 128, isn't it? The Harlequin,
I've also
I think.
treated myself to a retro case. I'm not completely sure about the different colours, but we'll see how it goes. Here is what's left of my whole Spectrum collection. I did manage to keep all the old cassettes that I'd recorded my own programs onto, so it'll be interesting to see what's on those when I can look at them. I did manage to keep just a couple of real games, the classics. Always remember that. But
this is going to be the choice.
I hadn't realised I had two games for the letter J. Jetpack, which when I first started playing it felt like a real arcade game for the Spectrum. But the game I was going to talk about today, Set Willy.
Again,
Christmas of '84.
it had to
it just felt
had
like
to be here today,
the
didn't
best
it?
game ever written. This is my old tape. It is a real one. I just lost the sticker off one side. I always remember this security card. You had to try and decide whether it was magenta or red before you could get in to play it. Keys are so simple. Left, right, jump. This isn't my original tape recorder, but it's exactly the same model that I managed to find on eBay.
That Blue Peter sticker at the top of it now.
A new belt.
We do
working
grant.
at last. Here we go.
Prepare your ears.
When I was young, I hated the loading. And now, I just like hearing it.
Yeah, that's the sound of your childhood, isn't it?
Turn it down a little bit. Please excuse the modern laptop. Here we go. Always liked Manic Miner back in the day, and this was just better. No, I didn't mean to do that. Just get to see Maria. Here we go. I never dreamt about finishing it back in the day. Even if it was impossible, it never seemed to affect me. It was just enough trying to get around all the rooms. Well, thank you, Neil. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. There's Maria, the
hello there.
housekeeper.
Before I get on to...
So the story was, Willy had a massive party the night before, and Maria won't let him go to bed until he's tidied the house, so you've got to go and collect all the objects. Right, what have we got next? We've got Woz with his J. Can I have a P, please, Bob? No, that's the entirely wrong game show, but it was a game show. Here are the J's from Woz.
Hi, cave dwellers. Made a fifth be with you. Oh, that doesn't quite work, does it? So J Day is about a day too late, Neil. So close, but so very far, far away. So obviously today I'm going with Jedi Knight. Dark Forces 2, full PC. I got this one back in 1997, and back then I've seen the re-releases, the special editions. So I was absolutely nuts over anything Star Wars related. So this is the reason why I got a PC back in 1997. Lots of reasons why I wanted one, but this is what sent me over the edge. Really excited for this release, and I thought enough's enough. Take the plunge and buy the system. So yeah, some fantastic box art here. You got your classic stormtroopers, Carl Katarn from Dark Forces fame, battling Jarek, the Dark Jedi. And there was just lots of cool screenshots on the side that just really made me want to pick up this title. And I remember reading it had 45 minutes of cutscenes, and that was live action, not rendered. So it felt like you're getting a bit of a Star Wars movie there. It was a bit of B movie and pixelated, but you know, I really enjoyed it back when I was a teenager. Had 21 levels, if I remember rightly, and what was nice is that you could join the light side. Well, obviously you fight along, and you're playing as a Jedi, so you follow the light path naturally, but you could be a little bit naughty and choose a dark side if you wanted to, and both sides had different force powers, which was quite nice. And you had lots of cool things in here, so you come across TIE bombers, blockade runners, sand troopers, very cool with the force lightning there. You get the lizard men, of course, and oh yeah, floating dark side Jedi. So yeah, this dude, he beat Darth Maul to it by a few years, didn't he? And what was nice about all this is that it was really deep in the Star Wars lore, and alongside it were a few graphic novels. I've only got the one. This is what I really like about LucasArts. Lots of crossover fiction with the comics, the novels, and here the graphic novel here. And it just sort of followed the Adventures of Carl Katarn. And I think I probably read this one after I had played the game, but it was just nice to read how the characters got into the situations that were then continued in the game. But yeah, very, very cool. Oh look, Jedi Tree. Movies didn't stray too far from the old literature here.
Is that how Jedis are born?
And to follow up this release, they brought on the add-on pack, Mysteries of the Sith. And this one starred Mara Jade. And she's a character from the novel Heir to Empire. So again, continuing that crossover quite nicely. Let's have a look on the back here. So yeah, lots of cool beasties as well. So you came across Crate Dragons, Rancors.
No, I've not played this
at
one,
all, really.
The expansion.
This is a fantastic experience. I remember the levels at the time were just absolutely huge.
He's making space for something else, isn't he? Here it
I haven't
comes.
come across anything quite like it before, but you know, going up from consoles to PCs really sort of, it just showed off the extra power. And yeah, great games, love them to this day. And also the follow-up Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, fantastic game. And much improved graphics, running on a later engine there. But yeah, it's a pity with the new movies that this series sort of has gone away now.
They
but,
keep coming.
Yeah, fantastic to go back and be able to play these to this day.
Great
Thanks for watching.
choice. Great choice. From the original Dark Forces, I was hooked. I haven't played some of these later ones, so maybe it would be worth going back and trying them. But it was a great series. And you mentioned the FMV footage. Some of the earliest Star Wars games on CD, like Rebel Assault, because a lot of the footage was in space, obviously, it worked really well. It wasn't trying to push too many colours on the screen at once. You could basically get away with quite a monochrome scene in space, and it would work quite well on a really low resolution. So they were some of my best experiences of early multimedia games. Okay, Grant M, what have you got for us? A picture of J4, Jax and Dexter. 2, 3, X. Dexter's gone in Jack X. What happened to Dexter? And then back. Jack? Did I say Jax? Jack and Dexter. Jack and Daxter. What is wrong with me? Jack and Daxter. Got it. Let's do it again. Jack and Daxter is Grant's choice for today. Jack 2. Jack 3. Jack X. Jack and Daxter. I can't read what that is. The Lost something. But it cost £22. Yeah, Naughty Dog Studios. Do we have any Jack and Daxter fans? I've only had one cider. Enhance. The Lost Frontier. Thank you. Where do you want us to begin with what's wrong with you, Neil? Always there when I need you, Gary Ninja. It's our good friend Tim. What's Tim got for us today? Another fantastic mug. Another key from his keyboard, which he's slowly destroying. What do you got, Tim?
Hello, Tim here for the letter J.
Hello, Tim.
So my letter J is a rather dog-eared Spectrum box here.
Another Jetpack, but a different box.
Is a game called Jetpack. Ultimate Play the Game, which became rare. Fantastic game in a 16K Spectrum. It was the first Spectrum game I played that really made me feel wow. This is just like being in an arcade. And it was original too. And actually, unlike the one I picked for H, the Hobbit, this one has aged really well. It's still really playable, despite the colour clash. Well worth a look, and a fun little arcade game. And yeah, perhaps I should get a better condition copy, but this is mine, and my pet Scamp bit the corner off it back in the day. And so, yeah, that's why I still treasure it. Anyway, that's my J. And yeah, I'll see if I can rustle up a K maybe. I'll see you then.
Thank you, Tim. And yeah, I agree. I've always said that Jetpack would have made a great... You could have put it in an arcade cabinet and charged 10p a go for it. and no one would have batted an eyelid if you'd put it next to a Williams, Robotron and a Defender machine. It would have stood up for itself again, up against that hardware with a humble 16K Spectrum, for sure. K for keyboard, slowly being dismantled, right? I think that's all your J's. That's all your J's. So let's go back to our tours. Let's see. Let's go to Dave's Man Cave next. Dave's Man Cave is 3 minutes 35. Okay, perfect. So let's see what Dave's got for us. Had to use text because you wouldn't hear me over the cooling fans. Main cabinet. PDP-11 sort of modern remake thing. PDP-11 Mini. That's the Mini we all wanted. Homemade Tektronix 4010 emulator connected. So this is your terminal over here, connected to the PyDP-11. Ah, I see what you did. That's cool. Tape measure. 10 points. Oh, another 10 points. Actually counting that. Modern PC and Gateway 2000 G6200 from the mid-90s for old DOS games. Oh, and we've got a Phoebe case. It looks like he's got something in his Phoebe case. Dejan, thank you for the subscription. Can you tell us what's in the Phoebe case? Thank you, Colin. Nice. I've got a Phoebe case. I haven't put anything in it yet. I think I'm going to put a Pi in there, but I want to get a Pi 4 to put in there. And yeah, Riscos seems like the natural thing to put on there, doesn't it? IDP 8. It's got all of them. IBM 001 punch card machine. This dates back to the 1930s. That's a cool piece of history. Sony Mavic floppy disk camera. So I took one of these to the RMC Christmas party and shared some pictures on a vlog. Still works well. You put a 3.5-inch floppy disk in the side. I think we got something like 45 pictures out of a single 1.44 meg floppy on that thing. And do you know what? They weren't half bad. For the age of the thing, for the technology, you know, it wasn't bad at all. And a data RAM core memory board back there. This is some big iron going on. What's over here? PDP-8A mini computer with a Remex paper tape reader made 1974 to 1984. It has 8K of core memory. That is a proper museum piece. PDP 1123 Plus introduced in November 1981 has RX02 dual 8-inch floppy drive and 2 RLO2 10 meg hard drives. Big are those hard drives. There we go. 10 meg per freezer tray. An RT11 on the display as a Televideo 912C. Straight out of Star Trek, that is. Do you know what? I can probably turn that fan noise down. Just have a bit of music. Microvax 3180 running VMS 7.3. It was introduced in 1989, has a 20 meg of memory and a CD and tape drive, kind of similar to the one that I had on the channel, but this looks a bit beefier. Yeah, I'm sure LJ45, you don't normally have them all running at once, all this noise. PDP 1173 introduced in 1983, 15.2 megahertz CPU clock, SCSI hard drive and an 8-inch floppy. That's motoring in 1983. Good speed. Johan, I sold the VAC station to a programmer who was going to make better use of it than me. It's running RT11 and has a VT510 serial terminal connected. There's a good old pet tucked away there. Can't see what it's saying on the screen there. Retro Man Cave. In, I'm guessing, 80 column mode. That one. That was a 1972 PDP machine. Hope you enjoyed the tour. That is a hell of a tour. That is a home museum. That could be a room at Bletchley Park or somewhere like that. I have games on the PDP 11s for letters P and S. Ooh. Space War, perhaps? P? What would P be? There we go. Great tour, and that looks like a sort of generic jammer cabinet that's been repurposed with modern emulators, which is great. I think those old generic cabs should be given a bit of love and put to use like that, because you're not really destroying any piece of history, are you? You're not destroying a Pac-Man cabinet or a Ghosts and Goblins or anything. Do what you want with them. This is my dining room. Wow. Fantastic. Let's see if we got room for Fair Fights tour. 5 minutes. I think we can squeeze this in. And then we'll finish up with Alan. So let's knock the music down for a bit of Fair Fight.
Hello everyone, this is Fair Fight 14 from the Retro Box Room, and you'll see in a moment why I call it the Box Room. So let's start off at the top right. We've got the Archimedes A3010.
The Classroom Classic, very nice.
Atari STE with 4 meg in it.
Nice.
It's also got a Cosmos X.
Hello ZX
and a
Renew.
switch to change the toss.
Got to change your toss.
An Amiga 1200 with a 240GB MSAT hard drive inside.
Probably got every Amiga game under
And
the sun on it.
64. Spray painted the case myself. Sega Saturn still in its box. Frame Master box there. Some soldering gear so I can get by the little projects that I do. BBC Master, which is kitted out as well with IDE and USB. Its tape deck hiding there.
Oh, a proper
Amstrad 6128 Plus.
Deck.
Some of my tapes. You can see
good tape storage.
Your Sinclair kicking around in there because I do like the Spectrum. I've also got an MSX2 Plus.
Speaking of the Fair Fight just showed some cover tapes there. Well, I think of it, was who showed the Jedi Knight games earlier. Is doing a bit of work with Future Publishing, who originally published Amiga format, and they're trying to get hold of a lot of old cover discs and cover CDs from the magazine for their archives, because they don't have them anymore. So if you go to my Discord chat and you go into the Wanted room, he's posted a little post there, and I'll have a chat with him and we'll maybe shout about it a bit more on Twitter if that helps him. And if you've got any old cover discs or CDs kicking around, you can maybe have a chat and figure out if that's one that he needs, and they can help to recomplete their archive and get everything back together again. Anyway, let's carry on.
And a few cartridges for it. Some blank floppies, which were brand new at the time. Let's slide down this.
Ooh, sliding down. Past the tape measure, 10 points.
We've got a load of DVD games that I like. You can see I quite like Battlefield and Doom and...
Have we frozen? Is that me?
All the first-person shooters.
Okay, that's just the video. It's okay, we're good.
I'm going to move the chair out of the way so I can get to show you all the goodies on this side.
That's not an original Famicom.
VGS
What's that?
knockoff that my wife got me for Christmas with some extra cartridges that actually work better than the one that came with it. Original Xbox, Dreamcast. Quite a fancy flight stick. The Nexty hiding here, the Sinclair Spectrum Next. Completely kitted out.
You're an early adopter of the Next.
Some blank tapes. Let me move myself up. We got the Nintendo 64, which is RGB modded, and it has a little switch on the side here to overclock it.
Ooh, nice. Kitted out with an
And
EverDrive.
yet more tapes. Crash. As I said.
Oh, did we go past a flight stick? I don't know what's going on with the video. This is just... I've just downloaded it, so I don't know why it's doing that. Fair fight.
I do like the Sinclair Spectrum.
But on the subject of EverDrives, I took delivery of my PC Engine EverDrive today. Game changer. Absolute game changer to have every PC Engine game at the touch of a button. As it is with every console, like the N64.
And then my little collection of mini consoles. You can see the Mister in the red there.
Oh, nice case for the Mister. And a 8-bit Do wireless controller. And what's that, a Logitech keyboard controller? Nice.
Got a Core Graphics Mini that I've got to open up yet.
The Tower of Power.
Sega Mini Tower. I always wanted the full kit when I was a kid, but couldn't afford it, so got that sorted out now. 360. Let's go across the other shelving. Got the 3D NVIDIA glasses there.
Nice.
Some games.
Some flight sims. 10 points.
Galaxy.
I don't know why this is freezing. Let me just go back and see if it does it second time around. Yeah.
Hitchhiker's Galaxy audiobooks. Some bits and pieces for other bits of kit that I've got.
He's got a legit copy of Amiga OS 4.1 and Amiga Forever. Legally owning those ROMs.
And some more games. And then there's the sub to my Roland speakers, which you'll see in a moment. Very nicely kicking about. And then this is where I actually do some recording.
We've got the mixing desk.
So there's the Roland 2.1 speakers.
Very nice speakers.
The CD drive that you can see is a slot drive that I built for the Amiga 1200. There's some bits and pieces. My fancy joystick.
I know you've got some sexy MIDI kit hiding there somewhere.
And the OSSC kit sitting there.
There it is. And non-MIDI MT32, CM64. Wow,
MIDI mounting,
all of the MIDI stuff.
And I've recently stuck up all this foam.
10 points.
So.
Oh, Stream Deck as well. Yeah, 10 points for that.
I'll just give you a shot from the outside. And this is why it's a box room. It is tiny. The walls from the left hand side to the right hand side, they're not even 6 foot or 2 meters apart. There's the PC that I like to use. And then there's one last thing I would like to show you. Elsewhere in the caverns I have this little collection of retro books. I don't know anyone else who has all the ST books like that. A quick pan just to see if you have any of the books yourself. I've enjoyed
Amiga
reading
in
most of them.
Pixels, that's a good one. Hey, listen, we got Nostalgia Nerds book there.
Other ones I still need to get through.
Oh, don't freeze on me now.
Reference books.
Amiga ZX Spectrum, programming the Z80.
And over here, I also have
like a
Fusion
library.
magazines.
Hey, another shout
reading.
for Fusion magazine. FusionMag.com.
I'd like to thank Neil for this opportunity to show off what I've got, and I really hope it's been a nice tour.
Yeah, it has
Bye,
been
everyone.
a nice tour. You've got some really cool kit there, but the thing that impresses me the most out of all of that, fair fight, is if we go back. Yes, the MIDI tower. Awesome. Go back, go back, go back. No, go forward, go back. Show me what I want to see. There. It's the use of space. You've created a little studio there with your overhead camera, your mic on a boom with your pop filter on there, all wired up nicely, your lights. I don't think you could use that space any better if you tried. And it just goes to show, whatever size room you've got, you can make it work with a bit of imagination, a bit of thinking outside the box room. Now, Fair Fight has a channel. Let me go and grab a link for you. And I believe another channel was mentioned earlier that I need to get a link for. Whose was that? That was Alan's.
What a lovely looking pair.
I have my sounds mapped to keys like home and delete, so when I press them, it triggers sounds when OBS is open. Sorry about that. What are we looking for? Retro Box Room. YouTube. Alan Hamilton's, that's right. So here is Retro Box Room. He's got 342 subscribers. Go give him a RMC hug. And then Alan's, what was Alan's channel called? My Retro Life, was it? My Retro Life? No, that's another channel altogether. Is that right, Alan? My Retro Life? There's another big channel called My Retro Life, isn't there? Or My Life in Retro, and it keeps coming up with that channel for me. Mark, help me out. Have you got a link for Alan? While we're figuring that out, we'll go back to Alan's video for the final part of today's stream. So we got to about 9 minutes in, didn't we? Which about there? Yeah, which about there? So let's continue the tour while we get Alan's link.
Pieces in there. So moving down, let me move my guitar out of the way because it's going to cause the problem otherwise. I don't drop it. Right, so I never thought I was much of a Nintendo fan until I organised this cabinet, and this is an entire cabinet of Nintendo bits and pieces.
I didn't know I was a Nintendo fan until I filled
Mini,
an entire
Famicom, Family Basics. So this basically this cartridge here plugs into what would be a cartridge slot here. You plug the keyboard in, and that becomes a full basic system on the Famicom, which is quite interesting.
Disc as well.
My Game Boy Advance Pokemon Center New York, which someone actually just gave me out of the blue, not realising what it was, and I was very happy to be given that. Moving down a bit further, Japanese Super Famicom with a Satellaview and the BSX cart. So in theory, that's a working system, but obviously I don't have a Japanese satellite system to try it on because they stopped doing that about 20 years ago. My working Panasonic Q, so that's my good one. Moving down a bit further, a Rob, which
there we go. I've just put Alan's channel in the chat. It's a brand new channel. He's put one video up. Incredible quality of first video for a new YouTuber. So go and give him a hug. Richard, you've just reminded me. I had massive problems downloading your video today. It kept failing. So I've got it queued up in another... I did have it queued up. I'll go and get it queued up because I was going to stream it directly from Dropbox because it would play, but it wouldn't download. Well, remind me, we'll get to the end of Alan's video.
Don't see those very often these days. Pocket Pikachu.
There's a Rob.
Well, you see, there's two Game Boy Advance, orange Game Boy Advances there. So this one's a real one. This goes to my Spice Cube and my Game Boy Player. This one is one that I kind of made a kind of Frankenstein version. So it's a aftermarket case, aftermarket screen, all that kind of stuff. But that's kind of my Game Boy because that is brilliant.
Usable.
The backlight on that is so nice. A few more systems there. My Game Boy Color collection. So that's all the Game Boy Colors that came out in Europe on launch, plus the Pikachu one, plus a Japanese only one that came from a department store.
Thank you, Retrobox.
So it's a kind of a smoke black color. Can't quite see it there.
I see how the camera works now.
We're on a gimbal. On the shelf there.
Very cool.
And then down the very bottom, Game Boy Advance SPs, N64 Pokemon Edition, a couple of sealed little mini classics, which I think came out in the late 90s, Game Boys, American SNES, again another Frankenstein Game Boy, as something falls off. That was the only thing on there is original. I think is the motherboard. Everything else is kind of aftermarket and it's just been refurbed as
Does anyone else have that problem? Whenever I move or touch any of my shelves in the cave, it's like, quick, catch it, something's falling every time.
My backlit version of that. And then this
tape.
came from Revival this year. This came from Retro Princess. She does these plushies. Look her up because they're absolutely fantastic.
Does Retro Princess on Twitter.
And then moving across to this cabinet. Ooh, let's move the camera back up again. I can only open half of this because there's some stuff in the way, so apologies.
What is
right,
this?
so we've got some Lynx's,
I need this.
Atari
I need
Touch
this
Me,
in my life.
which is the forerunner of Simon, if you've seen that. We have, Out Games, I don't know what it's doing in there. My Wii Shinkansen train controller, they're quite unusual, quite hard to find.
It's like something out of Knight Rider.
My my Sega shelf, so I've got a couple of the Sega figures there. And also Nomad,
Nice.
the Magic Knight Ray Earth limited edition Game Gear, and a multi-mega there, and some of these little Japanese gachapon miniature
Bless you.
Mega Drive systems, which even have, which is quite cool, I probably can't show you, these little cartridges come out, all these little things here have CDs in them, really cool. Moving down a bit more, a few more random handhelds and other systems. So we've got Quick Shots Supervision, a couple of Wonder Swans, a mono and a colour, Game 8. My Galaxy Invader 1000, which I've just done a video on my channel for restoring that, because that was in a horrible state and it's now lovely, as you can see. Another Sega Hard Girl, my Gizmondo, which is, if anyone's got one of these, you'll know it's sticky, don't ask. And then moving down a bit further, oh yeah, there's something there, but we won't talk about that. And then a bit further down is a G1 Jetfire. That's again one that's in the process of being restored. That's a 3D printed gun on that. Sun Organizer 2, Game Boy, Microvision Blockbuster, the first handheld. And then on this shelf we've got an Ouya, PSP
Engage.
Go, PSPs, Engages, Vitas, DS's, GP32, and the very back there, which you probably can't see, just down there, is a Neo Geo, what was it called? I can't remember what it's called. Neo Geo micro thingy, whatever it's called.
All very dust-free as well. I'm sure.
And at the very bottom,
it needs dusting, but those cabinets must help a
there's a
great
little
deal.
Sinclair shelf. So it's ZX80, Specky 128 Plus, my really nice original Spectrum, and a very, very nice Spectrum Next. Brilliant system.
Lovely. It looks really nice sat next to all the original
Finally, going back
Speckies, doesn't
to
it?
almost the door. Oh, going the wrong way again. So, like my more modern stuff, all the consoles I probably use on the more modern TVs. So PSX, that does work, but like most PSXs, has issues reading PS2 games, which is slightly annoying. PS2, NEC PC Engine with a CD-ROM drive inside that cabinet.
Nice.
Xbox 360, PS4 Pro, the
I see
really
an
nice,
Amstrad Mega
beautiful
PC
green
there as well.
Xbox, which I absolutely love. Would love a dev one, but that'll do for now. Couple of Wii's, Amstrad Mega PC.
Oh, what a lovely looking
That's an
pair.
American PS3 with the emulation built onto the hardware, which is why I bought it. Brilliant little system. My PS2s. Bottom one is a UK normal PS2. Top one is a Japanese Midnight Blue Clear, which I think is the nicest looking PS2 there is. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm probably not doing a very good job of showing it off. My Xbox One.
That's not retro. Get it out of
Little
it.
collection of records and
like
laser discs, and one of my cats in the corner. So that's all of that for that room. Oh no, actually, I forgot up here as well.
Another room.
There is, if my camera will let me show you. Just a few box Atari games, N64 boxes, Street Fighter, Super NES, and Nintendo box system. And then, if I go around here, go into like the workroom.
Full-size Lara Croft.
My workroom. Various things on the wall. So we have
10 points for the RMC.
My first ever computer, my
calendar.
ZX81, which is why I love that. Retro game, retro man cave calendar, fantastic. Some artwork, again, more from Fusion Retro books. Limited edition Ollie print, and of course, Lara Croft in the corner watching, as she always does. It scares the crap out of me when I turn around every day. And here is like a little cabinet of Transformers. So almost everything in here is a junker. So they are in the process of being restored, and most of these are going to feature on my YouTube channel.
Wow! So your
this
channel's
is the only one
toys
currently
as
that has
well.
actually been restored. Starscream's the next one I'm going to be doing. That you'll see soon on my channel as well. So down here, just like I say, lots and lots of Transformers that are in various states of repair. Very broken. Actually, let me open the door. It's probably easier. So very broken Megatron. I say lots of the Autobots in various states, missing wheels, missing tyres, missing great parts of it in that case. Some old Corgi and Dinky cars in the process of being restored. More Transformers. And then my small Game & Watch collection. A Tamagotchi. And a game here.
I hope you've cleaned the Tamagotchi
here,
today.
this Bandai Cross Highway.
Got to pick up its poop.
I did a Pocket Money Memories for Toy Polloi on that. That was the first Game & Watch in quotes that I owned. I shouldn't have, because my parents actually meant to be buying me, I think it was actually, this was what they should have been buying me, but they bought me that, and I absolutely love it, and it's taken me almost 30 years to get one back in my collection, but I'm super happy I've got that now. And then just a few more bits and pieces down here. So there you go. That is my games room and my little side collection in my workroom. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan. Oh, let's see if we can get
Highway.
No, it's gone blank now. Such is my VLC problems. We do still have Richard's video. I'm going to try and retrieve that for you, Richard, over on my other screen. So just bear with me. But Alan, that's a fantastic collection. I was about to mention the channel Toy Polloi to see if you were getting any tips from him, and clearly you have been. Another great channel for those kinds of toy restorations and things. Right, let's see if I can just find Richard's video. Bear with me, because we do need to end on a Richard trip. We started with a who did we start with? An Ainsley Harriet trip. So we'll close up. And have you seen this, guys? We've just broken through 205 live viewers. I think that's the most we've ever had on this stream. So thank you, everyone. Here we go, Richard. What I'll try and do is make it full screen. Right, we're going to stream it directly from Dropbox. Here comes your daily Richard trip. Prepare yourselves, everyone. Here we go.
Dance far away, now clap your hands.
I don't like the sad music. Okay, I think you've surpassed the Pioneer Laser Active. Fantastic job there, Richard. Really fixed that up. Ah, look at that. Another fan of Jaguar XJ220. I did love that box in British Racing Green. If you've ever seen an XJ220 in real life, it is a long car. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tape measures. RMC mug. They are huge cars, aren't they? Are you lucky enough, Richard, to have one of those Dells that do multi-sync? Or is that going through a upscaler or a converter of some sort? And a Metro engine, yeah, it had the Rally Metro engine in the back, didn't it? Yes, but it's in the office, okay. With added scan lines. Yeah, it never quite looked like the car was... I know, it was sort of slightly superimposed, didn't it? Unlike Lotus, but it still worked for me. I enjoyed it. The music, if nothing else, the music kept me coming back for that game. So, yeah, it did seem a little bit quicker, Richard, using the InDivision. There we go, those are your J games. Richard, you didn't send us on too much of a trip. You just blew up your hometown. Russell's Den monitor has a composite input, that is useful. I don't want to mod you, Daniel. Why are you asking to be modded? So I just do a double check. I think that's everything for today. That's everything for today, which means tomorrow's game is K, clap clap. Send your K games to retromancave@gmail.com. Your show and tells, your cave tours. And when we say cave tour, doesn't matter how big or how small your cave is, it's what you do with it that counts. It can be a cabinet, it can be a cupboard, it can be anything. Send it in. Same again tomorrow. I'm keeping the times kind of flexible because I was on holiday last week, so I could be bang on 7 every day. This week it really depends how late I'm working in the cave. When I get home, when I've had dinner, when I've been for my mandated 1 hour lockdown walk and all that business. Thank you everyone, take care, have a lovely evening. Thank you Gary on the screen. I don't know why we've had Gary on the screen the whole time, but we have today. And treat yourself to a Scotch egg tomorrow as it's hump day. Take care, bye bye. No gizmo today, sorry. He's waving. He's waving. Bye.
Cheeky monkey. Hi, but you got a big one.
Warrior, be food, daddy.
Show me the money! Get ready. Congratulations. Checkpoint.
Sugary. Warrior, be food, daddy.
Congratulations. Hi, but you got a big one.